Welcome to our professional training series in divination, tarot, and astrology. The following training in astrology was developed for students that are going through the courses with the School of Our Divine Infinite Being. We wanted to make our training available to the general public here on YouTube, while also encouraging those interested in a career as a divination professional in astrology and tarot to check out our programs at www.divineinfinitebeing.com. We have post-graduation program assistance that you will not find anywhere else. This includes live video consultation technology, calendar booking, social share tools, affiliate program development, e-commerce, and the opportunity to take clients from the marketing efforts of our talented in-house staff. Again, you can find all of this at www.divineinfinitebeing.com. We hope you enjoy this training. Sponsored by AstrologyPro.com, the #1 platform for astrologers and tarot readers to operate their divination services. Welcome to our training on astrology basics. Whether you've come here with a deep sense of spiritual curiosity or you're simply exploring astrology for the first time, I want to take a moment to affirm that your interest in this field is not only valid, it's powerful. Astrology has been practiced across civilizations for thousands of years, from the temples of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia to the courts of Renaissance scholars. It is one of humanity's oldest systems for understanding the self and the cosmos. And while often dismissed in modern times as mere superstition or entertainment, astrology continues to endure because it speaks to something fundamental in us, a desire to find meaning, to locate ourselves in a greater pattern, and to navigate life with clarity. At its heart, astrology is not only about prediction, it's about perspective. It's a language of symbols that helps us interpret the energetic patterns at play in our lives. It can offer insights into your purpose, your emotional nature, your challenges, your gifts, and the timing of significant life changes. It does not replace your intuition, your will, or your faith. It enhances them. It's a mirror, and although it details the framework of fate in your lifetime, it also unveils opportunities to work with these forces willingly. In a world that often pushes us to seek external validation, astrology invites you to turn inward, to listen to the rhythm of your own being as it dances with the universe. It helps us honor the fact that our lives are not random, that the moment we were born, with all its cosmic conditions, carries a resonance that shapes us in deeply personal ways. This introductory training is designed to lay a strong and simple foundation. It won't overwhelm you with technical terms or complex theories. Instead, it will give you a feel for what astrology truly is, why it matters, and how it can be applied with respect and depth. But this is only the beginning. If what you learn here resonates with you, I invite you to continue exploring our free advanced modules available right here on YouTube. In those, we go deeper into the techniques and wisdom of astrology, so you can not only understand it, but use it as a living, growing part of your spiritual or personal development journey. Remember, astrology is not about putting you in a box. It is about opening doors. It's about language for things you've always sensed but never had words for. It's about timing, truth, and transformation. So thank you for being here, thank you for being curious, and thank you for being willing to look at the stars, not just as distant lights in the sky, but as reflections of the vast, meaningful life you are here to live. Modalities and elements. Before we dive into the nativity, signs, planets, aspects, or houses, we need to explore the energetic structure underlying the signs, modalities, and elements. These two systems reveal the core patterns of how energy moves, how it's expressed, and how it transforms through the zodiac. The 4 elements, the building blocks of being. In astrology, the elements describe the quality of a sign's expression, what it feels like, how it experiences the world, and its underlying nature. Fire signs, inspiration, action, identity. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Fire is enthusiastic, expressive, and initiates with passion. Think, will, intuition, confidence, and creative spark. Challenges: impulsiveness, burnout, arrogance. Air signs: thought, communication, ideas. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Air is social, intellectual, and focused on abstract understanding. Think logic, networking, objectivity, and exchange. Challenges: detachment, overthinking, inconsistency. Water signs: emotion, depth, connection. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Water is sensitive, intuitive, and oriented toward emotional bonds. Think empathy, memory, healing, and inner life. Challenges: moodiness, escapism, emotional overwhelm. Earth signs: stability, structure, reality. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Earth is grounded, practical, and concerned with material reality. Think security, building, discipline, and results. Challenges: stubbornness, rigidity, over-materialism. Think of the elements as the essence of energy. They reveal what a sign fundamentally is and expresses. The three modalities: the rhythm of expression. If elements describe the what, modalities describe the how energy initiates, stabilizes, or evolves through time. Cardinal signs: initiators, leaders, movers. Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. These signs begin seasons. They start the cycle. Action-oriented, focused on starting, pioneering, and leading. Strengths: momentum, drive, direction. Challenges: lack of follow-through, impatience. Fixed signs: stabilizers, builders, sustainers. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. These signs anchor the middle of seasons, oriented towards holding, persisting, and deepening. Strengths: loyalty, consistency, resilience. Challenges: resistance to change, stubbornness. Mutable signs: adapters, shifters, and integrators. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. These signs end seasons, preparing for transition. They're flexible, versatile, and focused on adaptation. Strengths: flexibility, learning, multitasking. Challenges: scattered focus, indecision, restlessness. Think of modalities as the rhythm of expression. They show the tempo and strategy through which signs engage with life. Elements times modalities equals the 12 signs. Every zodiac sign is a unique combination of one element and one modality.
Sign: Aries. Element: fire. Modality: cardinal. Sign: Taurus. Element: earth. Modality: fixed. Sign: Gemini. Element: air. Modality: mutable. Sign: Cancer. Element: water. Modality: cardinal. Sign: Leo. Element: fire. Modality: fixed. Sign: Virgo. Element: earth. Modality: mutable. Sign: Libra. Element: air. Modality: cardinal. Sign: Scorpio. Element: water. Modality: fixed. Sign: Sagittarius. Element: fire. Modality: mutable. Sign: Capricorn. Element: earth. Modality: cardinal. Sign: Aquarius. Element: air. Modality: fixed. Sign: Pisces. Element: water. Modality: mutable.
Each of the 12 archetypes arises from this interplay, the nature of energy, element, and how that energy moves, modality. Giving you the most basic framework, understanding elements and modalities equips you with a foundational lens for interpreting why certain signs feel similar. Example, all water signs share emotional sensitivity. How signs interact. Example, cardinal signs may clash due to initiating energies. Planetary behavior through the signs. Example, Mars in a mutable sign expresses differently than in a fixed one. The dynamic balance in a natal chart. Someone heavy in one element or modality may need to integrate the others. Introduction to the Nativity, the blueprint of your soul. In astrology, a nativity refers to an individual's birth chart or natal chart. The term nativity is derived from the Latin word nativitas, meaning birth. The nativity chart is a fundamental tool in astrological analysis and provides a snapshot of the positions of celestial bodies at the exact moment and location of a person's birth. This chart is also commonly known as a natal chart or horoscope. The nativity is the very heart of astrology. It is a symbolic map of the heavens at the exact moment and place of your birth, a still frame of the cosmic dance that was taking place the instant you came into the world. But it's not just a chart of planets and positions, it's a living mirror of your soul's unique design, a personal mandala that reflects the potentials, challenges, and deep inner truths that shape your life. This chart contains the seeds of your personality, your emotional patterns, your talents, your wounds, your desires, your relationships, your timing, and more. It is, in many ways, the architecture of your incarnation. While astrology reflects a predetermined fate, it is not a rigid script that you must follow blindly. Instead, your natal chart reveals the energetic forces and archetypal patterns that shape your path, the symbolic terrain you were born into. Though these influences are set, you have the power to engage with them consciously, to align your will with these cosmic currents, and to co-create your journey. Astrology offers a language to understand and work with these forces, giving you the tools to navigate fate with awareness, choice, and purpose. The positions of the planets, the rising sign, the arrangement of houses, and the aspects between all of them come together to form a deeply layered picture, like the different instruments, tones, and rhythms of a symphony that is you. And just like any great piece of music, your chart holds complexity, contrast, beauty, and evolution. No two charts are the same. Your natal chart is entirely yours, and when you begin to explore it, you're not just learning something foreign, you're remembering something familiar. You're reconnecting with the deeper currents that have shaped your life from the beginning, often quietly, sometimes loudly, but always meaningfully. As we move forward in this training, we'll learn to read the various parts of the nativity, the planets, signs, houses, aspects, and angles. Each part adds a layer of insight, but always remember, the chart is not something outside of you. It is about you, your energy, your patterns, your path. As you begin to understand the language of astrology, the nativity becomes more than just a chart. It becomes a guide. Not one that limits or defines you, but one that helps you walk your path with more awareness, more alignment, and more compassion for yourself and others. Let's begin exploring this sacred map. These are the key components of a nativity chart. First of all, we have planets. Which represents the planets themselves and their influence, and it also includes the moon and the sun. The position of the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are marked in the chart. Each planet represents different aspects of an individual's personality, behavior, and life experiences. Then we have the zodiac signs. The zodiac is divided into 12 signs, and each planet is placed within a specific sign in the nativity chart. The zodiac signs represent different qualities, characteristics, and modes influencing how planetary energies express themselves. We'll get further into those details shortly. Houses. The nativity chart is divided into 12 segments called houses, each associated with specific life areas. The position of planets in these houses provide insights into different aspects of an individual's life, such as career, relationships, and personal development. Aspects. Aspects are geometric angles between planets, indicating relationships and connections. Common aspects include conjunctions, where planets are in the same position, sextiles, where they're at 60-degree angles, squares, where they're at 90-degree angles, trines, at 120-degree angles, and oppositions, which, as you would expect, are 180-degree angles. Aspects reveal the dynamics between planetary energies. The ascendant and the descendant. The ascendant, or rising sign, and descendant represent the eastern and western horizons at the time of birth. The ascendant reflects the individual's outer personality and how they present themselves to the world, while the descendant is associated with partnerships and relationships. Midheaven, or MC, and Imankoili, IC. The midheaven, or MC, is the point directly overhead at the time of birth, associated with career, public life, and aspirations. The Imankoili, or IC, is the point at the nadir, linked to the foundations of one's life, family, and personal roots. Lunar nodes. The north node and the south node represent points where the moon's orbit intersects the ecliptic. They are associated with the individual's life path and karmic lessons, indicating areas of growth and challenges. Astrologers use nativity charts as a tool for personality analysis, self-discovery, and guidance. The unique combination of planetary positions, signs, houses, and aspects creates a blueprint that astrologers interpret to provide insights into an individual's strengths, challenges, and potential life path. The nativity chart is a dynamic map that reflects the energies present at the time of birth and serves as a foundation for various astrological analysis, including predictive astrology, compatibility assessments, and personal development guidance. Introduction to the Zodiac Wheel, the celestial map of experience. Let's take a moment to orient ourselves to the diagram you'll be seeing again and again in astrology, the Zodiac Wheel. At first glance, it might just look like a circle divided into 12 slices, filled with unfamiliar symbols and numbers. But in truth, this wheel is one of the most powerful and ancient symbolic tools ever created. It's not just a chart, it's a map of human experience written in the language of the stars. The Zodiac Wheel represents the sky as it appeared from the exact location of your birth. It is divided into 12 segments, each corresponding to one of the 12 zodiac signs. These signs form a continuous circle from Aries to Pisces, symbolizing the full journey of the soul through different stages of growth, awareness, and expression. But this circle is also divided in another way, into 12 houses, which mark the specific areas of life, identity, communications, relationships, career, and so on. Together, the zodiac signs and the houses form a kind of two-layered map that shows both how energy is expressed, the signs, and where it plays out in your life, the houses. At the center of this wheel is you, the observer, the individual whose birth moment this chart represents. The wheel is geocentric, meaning it's drawn from the Earth's perspective, reflecting how the sky was arranged around you when you took your first breath. You'll also notice the symbols scattered around the wheel. These are the planets placed in specific signs and houses based on their position at your birth. Their locations reveal how various forces like thought, emotion, action, love, ambition, intuition were arranged within you from the very beginning. In this way, the zodiac wheel becomes more than just a static chart. It becomes a symbolic mirror of your inner universe. The outer wheel reflects the movements of the heavens, but the inner story is deeply personal. Each degree, each sign, each planet on the wheel tells a part of your story. So as we begin to explore the rest of the basics of astrology, keep in mind this wheel is not just about astrology, it's about you, your journey, your timing, your growth. It's a visual language that helps us understand the deeper patterns and cycles of life, both within and beyond. Introduction to the Zodiac Signs, the 12 Archetypes of Consciousness. As we begin to explore astrology more deeply, one of the first things we encounter is the 12 zodiac signs. These are often misunderstood as just 12 personality types, but in truth, they are much more than that. The zodiac signs are universal archetypes, patterns of energy that live in all of us, shaping the way we experience life, express ourselves, and evolve. The 12 signs form a complete cycle, beginning with Aries and ending with Pisces. This isn't just a list of traits, it's a story, a journey, a sacred progression of human development and soul experience. Each sign builds on the lessons of the one before it, and each one contributes a vital thread to the whole. You can think of the zodiac as a color wheel of consciousness. Each sign represents a distinct frequency, an elemental expression of life's possibilities. And just like colors, no one sign is better or worse. They each have gifts, challenges, shadows, and brilliance. They are all necessary. These signs live not just in your sun sign, but throughout your entire chart. You have every single sign present in your wheel, and every planet you have expresses itself through one of those 12 signs. So even if you don't have any planets in, say, Scorpio or Gemini, those signs still exist within you. They influence how certain areas of your life operate, depending on where they appear in your chart. Each sign combines 3 core elements. As we have previously taught, this includes an element, fire, earth, air, or water, which tells us about its basic energy and mode of expression. As we have previously taught, this includes a modality, cardinal, fixed, or mutable, which tells us how it initiates, sustains, or adapts, and an archetypal function, the role it plays in the greater story of growth and transformation. For example, Cancer is a water sign, emotional, cardinal, initiating, and plays the archetypal role of the nurturer or protector. Capricorn is an earth sign, practical, cardinal, also initiating, and plays the role of the builder or authority. Each sign holds a unique posture towards life and asks something of us. Each one invites growth in a particular way. By learning the signs, we begin to speak the core language of astrology. They are the filters through which planets express themselves, and they shape the style, tone, and quality of every aspect of your chart. Understanding the zodiac signs gives you insight not only into yourself, but into other people, relationships, timing, and the collective rhythms of humanity. As we explore each sign, try to see beyond stereotypes. These are not boxes, they are energies. You'll recognize them in yourself, in the people you love, and in the patterns you see in the world. This is the heart of astrology, learning to read these patterns, honor their wisdom, and consciously work with the energies we've been given. the zodiac signs. We start with Aries. Aries begins at the spring equinox in March, and Aries is considered the beginning of the astrological year, which then goes around the wheel and back to Aries again. So Aries, symbolized by the ram, represents courage, assertiveness, and initiative. Taurus, symbolized by the bull, signifies determination, stability, and sensuality. Gemini, symbolized by the twins, represents duality, communication, and adaptability. Cancer, symbolized by the crab, signifies nurturing, intuition, and emotional depth. Leo, symbolized by the lion, represents leadership, creativity, and generosity. Virgo, symbolized by the Virgin, signifies practicality, attention to detail, and service. Libra, symbolized by the scales, represents balance, harmony, and partnerships. Scorpio, symbolized by the scorpion, signifies intensity, transformation, and depth. Sagittarius, symbolized by the archer, represents exploration, optimism, and a love for freedom. Capricorn, symbolized by the goat, signifies ambition, discipline, and responsibility. Aquarius, symbolized by the water bearer, represents innovation, independence, and humanitarianism. And Pisces, symbolized by the fish, signifies empathy, intuition, and artistic expression. In further trainings, we talk about how each of these signs are actually broken into the four elements of fire, water, air, and earth, as well as the three modalities, which include cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Here I just wanted to give you an outline of what these astrological archetypes represent in a very simple, straightforward way. Introduction to the planets, the core forces of the self. Before we dive into the individual planets, let's take a moment to understand what the planets really are in the context of astrology and why they matter so deeply to your birth chart and your life. In astrology, the planets are far more than just celestial bodies orbiting the sun. They are the core energies of your being, the living archetypes that animate your thoughts, emotions, desires, instincts, and purpose. Each planet represents a different fundamental force within you, and together they create the dynamic, multidimensional experience of who you are. You can think of planets as the main players in your personal story. They are the active principles moving through every moment of your life, your drives, your values, your ways of relating, your spiritual growth, and your struggles. From the moment of your birth, the positions of the planets marked the imprint of those energies as they uniquely express themselves through you. Here's a way to imagine it. If your birth chart is a symphony, the planets are the instruments. Each has a distinct sound, a role, and a mood. Some are loud and commanding. Others are subtle, nuanced, or behind the scenes. Together, they create the music of your life. Some planets move quickly, like the moon or Mercury, and reflect your daily shifts in mood. thoughts, and communication. Others move slowly, like Saturn, Uranus, or Pluto, and reflect larger cycles of growth, challenge, and transformation. The faster-moving planets tend to shape your personality and personal life, while the slower-moving planets often speak to deeper generational themes or long-term evolution. Every planet expresses itself through a sign, which tells us how it functions, and through a house, which tells us where in your life it shows up most clearly. But the planet itself tells us what function or force is being expressed. For example, the sun is your core identity, your life force, and sense of purpose. The moon reflects your emotional world, your instincts, and how you nurture and seek comfort. Mercury speaks to your mind, your voice, and how you process and communicate information. And the outer planets, like Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, connect us to the transpersonal, generational, and spiritual layers of transformation. By understanding the planets, you begin to understand the architecture of your inner world. You begin to name and recognize the distinct voices that live within you, the parts of you that lead, that resist, that dream, that protect, that challenge, and that grow. The planetary symbols. The sun represents the self, vitality, and core identity. The moon symbolizes emotions, instincts, and the subconscious. Mercury represents communication, intellect, and analytical thinking. Venus symbolizes love, beauty, and harmony. Mars represents energy, assertiveness, and ambition. Jupiter symbolizes expansion, growth, and abundance. Saturn represents discipline, structure, death, and responsibility. Uranus symbolizes innovation, individuality, and sudden change. Neptune represents dreams, intuition, and the subconscious. Pluto symbolizes transformation, regeneration, and deep change. Once again, this symbolism goes much deeper and in further detail. In an astrological reading, we get much further into the predicates of the planets in further trainings. Introduction to aspects, the relationships between planets. Before we dive into the specific aspects themselves, it's important to understand what aspects really are, not just in technical terms, but in terms of their meaning and value in a chart. Up until now, we've looked at the planets more as individual forces, each one representing a core function or drive within us. How we think, how we feel, how we act, what we value, and so on. But just like different parts of you interact and influence one another, the planets do the same. They are in constant relationship, and those relationships, those angles they form with one another, are called aspects. Aspects describe how the energies of different planets talk to each other. Do they cooperate easily? Do they challenge one another? Are they in tension, in flow, in friction, in harmony? Each aspect is like a conversation, sometimes smooth, sometimes intense, sometimes confusing or inspiring, but always meaningful. You can think of your natal chart as a room full of characters, each representing a planetary function. Aspects show us how those characters relate, who's getting along, who's in conflict, who's avoiding one another, and who is working together as a team. And just like real relationships, these dynamics shape who we are, how we grow, and where we may experience inner struggle and transformation. Some aspects create ease. They indicate natural talents, inner harmony, or support between different parts of your personality. Others create challenge, showing areas of tension that may push you towards growth, resilience, and eventually mastery. But none of them are bad. Even the most difficult aspects are opportunities to evolve, and some of the greatest personal power comes from working through these inner conflicts. As you learn about aspects, I invite you to look at them not just as geometry, but as energetic relationships, as psychological patterns, as inner dialogues, and as indicators of where your life carries potential, lessons, and momentum. When you understand how your planetary energies relate to one another, you begin to understand the deeper architecture of your personality, and more importantly, how you can work with it, not against it. Let's now take a closer look at the aspects themselves and explore how these planetary relationships shape your inner world. Aspects, once again, have to do with the angles of the planets to each other. A conjunction, which means they're at 0 degrees, indicates energies combined and intensified. Sextile, which is at 60 degrees, shows harmonious and supportive aspects. Squared, at 90 degrees, shows tension, challenges, and growth through conflict. Trine, which is 120 degrees, shows harmonious and flowing energy. Opposition, which is 180 degrees, shows tension and awareness of polarities. This will make much more sense when you get into the training that we have on the individual planets. We have the definition of all of the aspects and their relation between planets within that training. In fact, some of the most in-depth training that we do, there are 80, 90 slides, is specifically to the planets themselves, because the planetary transits, as they happen on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, carry some of the most important relational context for an individual, whether that be a nativity reading at the time of birth or a horary reading predicting some time in the future that is most fortunate for the transaction of a planned experience. Introduction to the houses, the landscape of life. It's important to understand what the houses are and why they matter. If the planets represent what's happening and the signs represent how it's happening, then the houses answer a very specific and essential question. Where is it happening in your life? The 12 houses divide the chart into 12 distinct life areas, each one representing a domain of human experience, from identity and values to communication, home life, creativity, relationships, career, and beyond. The houses form the landscape upon which the planets express themselves. Think of it like this. The planets are the characters, the signs are their costume and style, but the houses are the stage, the setting or life arena where the actions unfold. For example, having Venus in Leo tells us something about your style in love and beauty, but Venus in Leo in the 5th house? That's an entirely different expression than Venus in Leo in the 10th house. The house determines where Venus is most active in your life, whether it's focused on romance and creative joy or public image and career. So as we move into learning about the houses, we're shifting our focus to real-life application. The houses ground astrology in your actual experiences. They show where you're most likely to feel certain drives, face certain challenges, or find your gifts coming alive. I would like to now give you the very basic of the houses. The 1st house indicates self, identity, and appearance. The 2nd house covers finances, values, and possessions. The 3rd house indicates communication, siblings, or short journeys. The 4th house is the home, family, and roots. The 5th house is creativity, romance, and children. The 6th house is work, health, and daily routines. The 7th house is partnerships, marriage, and open enemies. The 8th house is transformation, shared resources, and intimacy. The 9th house is philosophy, higher education, and long journeys. The 10th house is career, public image, and reputation. The 11th house represents friendships, groups, and social causes. And the 12th house are secrets, spirituality, and hidden enemies. So this covers the basic tenets of astrology as far as it's related specifically to the nativity, and all we've provided so far is just a simple outline to understand the value and the depth of the astrological divinatory rites. We hope to see you take the rest of the courses here with the School of Our Divine Infinite Being.